So now we're talking about the taverns. What do you know about old taverns?
They were made of wood.
All right. The end. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martelle, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
What is up? I don't know why I'm fist pumping. Nobody can see me.
I
I always
know.
get all amped up at the beginning of a show. Yeah, we're back.
You need one of those little, like...
Noisemaker things.
Yeah, there you go. So, anyway, I fucked up last week's show.
Yeah, you did bad.
Big time.
Big time. We had a great show going, and then it tanked, and then we recorded an hour of really good material. And I didn't realize till I listened back, we lost all of our commentary on the family that came and sat on the porch.
Yeah, we'd lost everything.
Oh.
So, and here's what happened with that. So, I got up Sunday. I sat down, grabbed a set of headphones, went down in front of the TV, and immediately started doing research on what we lost. Okay?
Like how to recover it.
Like how to recover it.
Right.
So I didn't even open up the recording software. Just like, okay, how do I find this? And everything was like, oh, do this. You know, when you record in this application, it records live. And then when you're done and you hit stop, it automatically saves individual WAV files for each track that you have active.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Easy. Found them. Opened up each one individually, just in an audio player, listened to it. Sounded horrible, but we hadn't done anything with it.
Right.
Okay, fine. I can add that to what we already recorded. Well, before I left, when we shut everything down, I hit Control S and saved it. And I remember going, oh shit, I saved right over our template. Went back, resaved it as episode 20, I think, is what it was. So, open up the laptop, open up episode 20. I immediately get an error. File cannot be found. I lose my mind. I'm like, no. Shit. Then I remembered, oh, I hit Control Save and saved over the template. Open the template, hit play, add in all the filters, hit play, and listen. And there's everything. So I'm just listening to it. I'm listening to, us talk about how I screwed up, how I hit the power button. I'm like, all right, we're re-recording. We're listening to Ricky Tikki Taffy, the three guys from college. I'm like, all right, great. I grab the 3 WAV files. I move everything out for what we did. Mm-hmm. I put in the 3 WAV files for the first 30 minutes. Hit save. My computer freezes. I'm like, shit. All right. We have the file. We have the other file. All I have to do is go back in and redo this over again. It'll recover itself. We'll be fine.
Right.
Oh, restart the computer. Bring up the saved file. Oh, it tried to save. And when I said, it said there was an error. Do you want to recover? I hit yes, recover it. All the tracks were blank all the way across. An hour and 37 minutes of just blank tracks. It deleted everything and merged the tracks together, which was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, I was pissed at that point. I'm like, all right, no big deal. It's fine because it saved the WAV files.
Okay.
As we recorded.
Right.
So I go searching for those WAV files. Oh, no, it didn't do that. It completely annihilated those WAV files.
Awesome.
Deleted them completely. So we ended up with just the 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. He
Probably
can't
the
grow a
best
beard.
episode.
Right, our best episode ever. He can't grow a beard. That's why he has a dog named Patches. And end show.
Oh, man, and we had so much more good interaction with folks after that. But anyway, we're back now. We're back in the home studio.
No chance of hitting that power button because it's on the floor 5 feet away.
As long as Diesel don't step on it.
I'll kill him.
And it seems like, one of our best fans, I guess you'd call him, Greg, he was listening today, or last week he was listening, and he just messaged me all angry. And he was like, I swear you two could mess up a wet dream. It was the funniest feedback I've ever gotten from an episode.
Oh,
I was sitting in my office. I read that message. I started laughing so hard.
Well, I think that's the screenshot you sent me, which is what made me log into Columbus Racing after 22 years.
Right.
And just have a whole retort that I completely lost that message too because I didn't have internet
you typed
access.
everything to Greg,
Typed
and then
everything
your
out,
phone.
and then my phone lost its internet connection in my
I think it's
office
you. I
building.
thought it was me, but I think you're jinxed.
Probably. Well, I've always
Or
been
haunted
jinxed
or
with
something.
It's with technical glitches are my thing ever since I was a kid.
That's why you always had Volkswagens,
No,
electrical gremlins.
I don't have electrical gremlins with Volkswagens. It's always hardware issues.
Mine's more of a software usually.
Which is why we have so many hardware issues with this laptop.
But we are back. We are ready to roll. And I'm trying to think if anything real interesting happened this past week. I don't really have much.
Nothing on my end happened.
Not that I can.
We're planning a trip down to Hocking Hills in 2 weeks.
It's like 20 minutes for you.
Yeah, no. So
gotta pay to
basically,
live
I'm
20 minutes away.
basically going to stay the night in a cabin 20 minutes away.
That's like me paying to go stay in Grove City.
I know.
Let me call it the Holiday Inn.
I'm fine with
La
it, though.
Quinta.
I'm fine with it, though. I'm looking forward to it.
No, it'll be good to get away.
So,
It always feels different when you get out of your house for a while.
Yeah.
And go on a trip. I don't think we're going to get a vacation this year.
Oh.
We take our big family trip the week after Thanksgiving. We've done it for I don't know how long. We go down to Gatlinburg. We know somebody that owns a cabin in the mountains, so we just rent it off of him. It's like a private.
yeah.
And so we don't have anybody around us. We don't have a bunch of other cabins. It's outside of town, so it's real quiet. And we usually go down there, but with the baby just being born and and then my surgery, I don't have any paid time left. So now it's like, do I take a week off unpaid right before Christmas? You know, with a newborn.
I was going to say, the newborn thing would just be tough in itself.
Yeah, so
we've done that before, and
think
that's
we might-
just kind of a bitch.
Yeah, we might skip and do something in the spring, but yeah, I don't know. So I got something for you here.
Okay.
Two somethings.
Two somethings.
Two somethings to taste. And when I told Martelle today I'd bring us something to taste, he said no.
Immediately, my response was, if it's nasty, no.
Yeah, if it's nasty,
We're not
no.
doing it. You can do it. I'm out on the air.
So I show up with a cooler and get out, and he says, "What are we tasting?" And I
said,
"Don't
"What are
worry
we
about it."
eating?"
What are we eating? I
And
said,
you
"Don't
said, "We're
worry
not
about
eating
it."
anything.
No. At first I said, "Don't worry about it." And you closed the garage
And I
door
started,
on me.
yeah, that's right.
And they said that he's going to get on here and just yell that he's mad because Randy won't tell him what we're eating. And I said, "Who says we're eating anything?" We are actually trying 2 beers that somebody gave me. They wanted us to try and review.
All right.
So I told them we would try them. Now they do listen to the show, but they asked to be to remain unanimous.
They're
As in,
anon.
They're unanimous, as in you don't need to know who they be. So
All right, Troy.
we have 2 different beers from New Belgium.
I like New Belgium.
So yeah, it's something that you can get in the store. It's not anything crazy.
I got New Belgium down in the fridge.
Okay.
Some barrel age.
The first one is the New Belgium VOODOO Ranger Special Release
Okay.
Atomic Pumpkin.
Oh, I've had this before.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was going to get you with it being a pumpkin beer.
No, I don't mind pumpkin beer. I
So-
hate pumpkin spice. There's
so
a huge
we need-
difference.
Okay, that's fair. I haven't tried this, but we're gonna crack this bottle open here. We got some glasses. I think I
it
need
not
a
a
bottle
twist?
opener.
Here.
No, it's not a twist.
I'm going to...
You're gonna make me bend over and try and get that?
Yep. You need some exercise. Oh, that was...
1. Got to count your reps. That's a crunch. I'm putting that in my workout tracker that I use never day.
That's 1 for the month.
Now every day when I put my slide-on shoes on, I don't bend over then either.
Nope.
But man, this is like a heavy duty. You have
So-
a Rogue bottle opener.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out to Rogue.
That's
local
one
company.
of my favorite bottle openers ever. So read the label on that thing before you start pouring.
I did. What am I reading?
Well, there's usually New Belgium usually puts like some description of what the
Pumpkin ale featuring cinnamon. Oh, here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and habanero chili peppers for just the right amount of heat.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, I forgot he told me it had habanero peppers in it. I'm going to pour a little bit of this for me.
You have some of that. I've poured some of that.
So are you going to taste it now?
Yeah, I'll have some. I like it. I've had it before.
Here. Oh, we need our new table set up so we're a lot closer.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
We got frosted glasses out of Martelle's freezer, but then of course
They're
we're up
not
here
frosty
for
anymore.
like a half hour before we start recording. So I'm going to try this. I'm not a beer drinker, man. It's not something I go to a lot. But I'm going to try this pumpkin habanero.
So how would you describe the color?
I mean,
It's about urine orange.
yeah, it's like a dark urine when you don't from somebody who just drinks pop all day.
Or
People are
vitamin, or takes a lot of vitamin B.
Yeah, it's like a dark amber color. When I hold it up in front of the window, you can kind of see through it. But it's a amber orangish color. Definitely looks like urine. Let's see what it tastes like.
Go ahead. I'll get you. You tell us what you think. I've had it before, so I already know what I think.
Well, the smell as I brought it up to my lips caught me off guard. It's
It doesn't.
I smell a little of the habanero, and it's weird to smell that in a drink.
Right.
Taste wise, it's a little bit of just a touch of pumpkin and a little cinnamon. I don't taste much habanero myself. Like there's a little bit on the back end, I think.
Yeah, that's not a ton. I need to get more on the mic. There's not a ton. I'm trying to get photos.
I took a little bit bigger drink. I mean, I just poured myself a couple shots worth of beer because I didn't want to. If I hated it, you can't pour it back in the bottle very easily.
No.
So not bad though.
No, it's very pumpkin ale-esque up front.
Yeah, but it is. It is. Definitely.
And then it has a habanero. It's not spicy.
No, you get the flavor of the pepper.
Yeah, you get the flavor of the pepper on the backside. It's not going to burn your tongue. It's not going to. You're not going to be shitting flames later today.
Well, you don't know that.
No,
but not from this.
Not from this. I mean,
my body works in mysterious ways. No, this actually I bet would go good with some street tacos from Habaneros in Hilliard if you haven't eaten there yet. And it's because you're not listening to me. You need to go eat there.
I need to get over to Hilliard first. I was supposed to go over to Hilliard yesterday and today, but I'm not going over. Endeavor's having the strongest unicorn.
Oh, is that this weekend?
Competition.
Shout out to Endeavor.
And I'm not. I was supposed to go over, but I've got other things going on, like recording a show.
Oh, and drinking pumpkin habanero beer.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I honestly thought I was going to hate it because I'm not. I like spicy, but I don't like stupid spicy.
No,
and usually things like a beer, I don't want to be. I don't want like savory taste in my beer.
Right. Well, and this has a different smell than it has a different taste.
Right. The smell keeps throwing me off.
The smell, if you've ever been in a the only thing I can equate it to, and this is going to sound really strange, take a big deep breath of what this smells like.
Okay.
And then walk into a little small mom and pop homemade pizza shop and smell the dough.
So I just need to go down to mom and pop's pizza shop and walk in and go, "Can I smell your dough?"
Just walk in. Don't even just walk in and take
just
a whiff.
straight to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Put my face.
No, not even to the kitchen. Like
rub it around and try and snort it like cocaine.
Well, try. Next time you're over to Habaneros, just walk into DeCarlo's off of Main Street in Hilliard and just take a whiff in there. It smells like pizza and dough.
My face into a big old ball of dough.
Yeah.
And then walk out.
It smells like dough. To me, it kind of smells like pizza dough. It doesn't have a pumpkin beer smell to it. It smells like dough.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, it kind of does.
It smells like dough. And not money. I mean, it is money to the taste.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I recommend it.
I do. I like it.
It's not. I was really worried about it being a pumpkin spicy thing.
No,
because I like coffee and I like sweets, but I hate pumpkin spice coffee. It's just not my thing.
No, pumpkin spice anything is bullshit, Tommy. I know you're listening.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to finish this last little bit here because I have another one that I don't think you've tried.
Probably not. Or maybe I have.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Cool. That last little bit.
I'm going to save the last of that for later.
All right, you got your glass empty?
No, not yet.
Oh, you need working on glass. You work on that while I describe the next one.
You describe the next one. The label on this one, for anybody who's going to go out and look at it, it's New Belgium VOODOO Ranger. It's got a skeleton on the front wearing a park ranger's hat. The label's orange. It's Atomic Pumpkin. Everything's orange about it because it's pumpkin. It's really good shit. Check it out. I give it a 3.75 out of 5.
I thought you were going to say out of 10.
No.
Yeah, it's a good average beer. What's the ABV on that?
On this one,
I don't even know. I didn't even look.
6.4.
Oh, there you go. That's a little higher than most. I mean,
Is that right? I got my glasses on and still can't see shit. Yeah, 6.4.
Told you you're old. So this next one I got, also New Belgium. It is an HPA.
An HPA.
Yes, because it's the New Belgium, the HEMPEROR.
Okay.
It says it's an HPA. It's 7% ABV. The
White
HEMPEROR,
label, green cap.
Yep, white label with green on it, green and gold lettering. It's got a gentleman on it who has a beard and hat and shawl-looking thing, all made out of leaves of a certain shape. And he's holding...
Looks like a Buckeye leaf.
Yeah, a lot like that. But yeah, it's the HEMPEROR says this HPA is a new kind of hoppy beer, blending hemp with hops for complete sensory domination. See our sustainability efforts at thehemperor.com.
Okay. I'm going to, before we even go into this,
Okay.
before you crack that open, before that passes my lips.
We're going to try and light it.
No. I hate IPAs. I hate them with such a passion that anytime someone posts an IPA online, I have something negative to say about it, whether I've had it or not.
Why do you hate IPAs?
Because they are too fucking hoppy.
Well, this is probably going to be bad then.
Now,
because this is a new kind of hoppy beer.
Liz, on the other hand, loves hoppy beer.
Oh,
she loves
we should
IPAs.
bring her up.
She's not going to get on the microphone.
No.
But I will give it a try, and I will be honest about whether I like it or not.
That's fair. That's what
we
we want honesty.
Right.
Would any of our listeners
my
expect
God, it's so
anything
good.
less of you?
Well,
I mean, we're not sponsored. We don't have to.
I don't have to
lie.
like any of this shit.
Hey, this podcast is sponsored by blah blah blah, and we love it, and we've never used the product.
Right. Well, that wouldn't happen anyway.
Right.
So, but
Unless somebody wants to sponsor us.
I mean,
Okay, I just cracked it open, and there's definitely a certain aroma. The caps I just heard the little. Tss.
I heard it.
There is an aroma about this.
All right. Well, let's see what happens with this one.
Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drink. I don't smoke pot. I don't care. I think it should be made legal. But it's not my thing. If it's legal, I wouldn't smoke it. I don't believe it's not me, but there's an
See,
odor about this. And I'm just going to pour a little bit.
I'm gonna do the same.
It doesn't smell as bad in the glass as it did when I first cracked the bottle.
Wow.
Right? Like, I didn't expect it to smell that much like a plant.
The guy looks like Genghis Khan covered in weed on the front of this
So
thing.
now you know what to look for.
I mean,
He's got a nice little goblet. It looks like an iron cross on a chain.
good Lord. He's got bud on his head. I'll have to get a friend of mine down here to try this one and see what he thinks.
We've all got that friend.
I have that friend.
All right. Make sure you're in the mic for your reaction.
Yeah, well, so this one's more of like a golden yellowish color. I lost my phone. Wow. It's
Too bad this isn't on video.
Honest to God, this is bringing back memories.
Not for me.
And I've never smoked weed. So let's be clear. I've never smoked weed, but I have been high as shit.
Oh yeah.
Before, just from being with friends, and
Well,
they say that you can't secondhand or whatever whatever it is.
Yeah.
Being buzzed by no, that's absolutely possible.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
Definitely. I'll take a drink of
possible.
this and I'll tell a story on that.
Go ahead. I'm gonna.
Oh, am I going first?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Let's Oh, that is hoppy. That is hoppy and that tastes like what weed smells like, dude.
Great.
It
Can't
tastes
wait.
like I'm drinking skunk spray, whatever that is. Not the
I can
urine,
tell
the,
you
like,
what skunk
nastiness.
spray tastes like.
What it tastes like?
Yes. We'll get into that.
We got a couple stories coming
Yeah.
up.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to shoot this down because I'm not going to let it go to waste. This little bit I have.
Wow.
You like it, don't you?
So this isn't so much like an IPA, but it does not taste.
Ugh.
To me, it does not taste like it smells.
Oh, take a big old gulp. Get a bunch of it. That is rough, man. I don't know if I could drink that with a steak or something. That's pretty. The kind of people that buy this are potheads, and they're only buying it because of the hemp.
I think you and I are tasting two different things.
Really? You like it?
I think so. It's not bad. Like, honest to God, it's not bad.
rough.
Like, I hate IPAs. This isn't as hoppy as I thought it was going to be. I've had some really hoppy shit.
Okay, well, I don't drink IPA, so maybe I just don't. I don't have the comparison you do.
I only drink them because of Liz.
Okay.
So, well,
Because she wears
I
the
only-
pants in the family.
let me rephrase that. I taste them when she buys hers, or when she gets them at a brewery or a bar. I'll taste it, but this is nowhere near the
dude.
level of some of the shit that she got.
I just pulled away from the mic to burp. Wait until you burp one of these up.
Oh yeah, that tastes just like I remember being like
Yeah.
secondhand high.
Oh, that's rough. It's not bad. It's just it's not a beer that I would go pay for to have. I don't think it's like I could drink and I just did and I finished what was in the glass, so it's not awful.
There's a novelty to it.
Yeah, that's all there is.
That's all there is to it.
That's
So-
not a beer that I'd go, man. You know what would really go good with this cheeseburger?
Oh no, this isn't a cheeseburger.
or
This is.
nothing. I can't imagine just drinking that casually unless I was doing it to be fun.
I don't know. I would do this with a steak.
Well, there you go. I'd rather have the atomic pumpkin with a steak.
I would do the atomic pumpkin with some tacos.
I would just eat any food, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But of the two beers, I'd rather have the atomic pumpkin.
This one I will give because it is hoppy, but it's not as hoppy as as like an IPA. I mean, I'll give this one probably like a 3.25 out of 5.
I can't stop burping.
You're having some issues over there.
It comes out my mouth and in my nose, and I'm getting high. My body has turned into a bong.
Well, I'm wondering what because there's no real information about what they do or how they've
Maybe we need to
brewed
go,
this.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it's hemp. It's not. There's no THC in it.
well, that's the thing. So, can you get high from this?
We're gonna
Because
have to
there's a
Google
difference between hemp and weed.
that. Right. Absolutely.
I mean, there's hemp.
Which is a common misconception.
Right.
Hemp grows way faster than trees and can be used for textiles.
Yeah,
Paper,
for basically
clothes,
everything.
The same thing trees are used for.
Right.
Lumber,
Well, yeah.
rope, and people have just voted. I should have brought. I've got a relative on. Should have brought her on that she is well versed in hemp and marijuana. But yeah, it gives it a pot smell and taste. I think here's my story about my big pot experience. Me and my buddy, we lived together. We was, I think 18, 19. You know, it was the first time I moved out to Dad's house, and we had a nice 2-bedroom duplex. We rented, a 2-bedroom part of it, and went to a party for somebody we'd gone to high school with. And everybody's there, and everybody's drinking. It's pretty chill. I mean, nobody's getting real crazy. People were drinking pretty heavy, but nothing crazy is going on. Just playing music, hanging out. And there was one room that people kept going in and out of.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, guys, come in here real quick. So they're like, okay. People been in and out of here all night. It was a room about this size. The walls were painted black. The trim was painted black. The ceiling was painted black.
And they had a black
The curtains
light.
were black. And they had tons of black lights and posters everywhere.
Right.
It was random furniture, and people were just basically sitting in there passing joint after whatever, Somebody go and smoke, and then other people go smoke. And it was their little pot room in the house.
Yeah.
And we sat there. I passed it. I said, him and I worked at a warehouse, and if you are on a piece of equipment and you bump something, you get drug tested.
Okay.
I mean, there's just no, there was no leeway. So I said, no, I'm going to pass it. So we stayed in there. Man, I don't even know how long. A good while. I mean, we were kind of buzzed anyway off the liquor, but we decided to leave. His girlfriend did smoke some, and she was a vegetarian that would only eat fast food chicken nuggets. Those were okay in her mind.
That's not even
Exactly.
That's pink slime.
Exactly. That's a totally different
gross.
convo. But we all decided, it's 2 some in the morning. Let's go grab a bite to eat and go home.
Yeah.
Well, one of the only things open is Burger King there. Now, his vegetarian girlfriend weighed like $110, real scrawny. Didn't eat much of anything. And we go through Burger King. We order a bunch of food. We go up to pay, and they're like, $38.94 is your total. And I was like, I looked at Andy. Andy looked at me, and we realized very quickly that we most definitely had a contact buzz.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, $38 for basically me and Andy because she ate like fries and nuggets. So,
I've done one of those.
Yeah, that's my experience.
So Liz just came in. I sent her a text about it.
I was wondering. I thought
said, "Hey, here's something. I've got this up here if you want to try it." So, what do you think? You like it?
She approves. Rated out of 5.
Does it smell like someone's house that?
Yes.
Everybody's got that friend
that we've been to that we're not going to name names or where he's at.
But you know when he's awake, and you know when he's asleep. There's a certain aroma that gets stronger.
No.
I smelled it when I walked in.
You could smell that when you walked in?
Holy shit, really?
I told you, when I was sitting here, I just cracked the seal, just barely, and it just hit me in the face. Yeah, so Liz agrees about the aroma. Does it smell like we're smoking pot in here?
Yeah.
Does it really? I can't smell that.
I can't smell it anymore.
We're here, so.
It's because we're high now. We're high off the beer.
We're high. See, that's the thing. I want to know if I want to know what they use. I'm gonna have to look up.
Yeah, we'll have to Google it.
It's good though.
Is it? Do you like it?
Aftertaste.
Okay.
Liz says it's good. It does not have an aftertaste, which is what you want in a beer.
Right.
You want a good, clean beer, smooth. See, I preferred the other one. I didn't like that one too much.
And actually, I don't mind this. That's what I was. That one we've had. That's the pumpkin ale with habaneros that you bought me. That I liked.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. That would be my pick out of the two.
So is this something you would buy again?
I don't know because of the smell. And then that's
Just the smell.
So the
alone.
smell may keep you. Yeah, that's kind of how I am.
it tastes good.
Yeah, the taste isn't the worst. I finished what I poured in mine, but the smell got me every time.
I actually like it. I know it's basically an IPA, and I actually like it.
But it doesn't have the aftertaste like the IPA does.
Right.
Right.
I think that's what it is. I don't like the aftertaste.
Right. I agree. I think it's better than an IPA for sure.
It also reminds
But the
me of what's
smell-
his face's house.
He's also staying unanimous, ain't he?
Yes. Super unanimous.
Super unanimous. Uh-oh.
Super duper
Anonymous,
unanimous.
you mean?
No, unanimous as in
That means you don't need to know who it
You
is.
don't need to know who it is. So, okay, cool.
Well, thank you.
Love you. Bye.
So, speaking of all this drinking, I recently read an article titled The Surprising Drinking Habits of Our Founding Fathers. And it actually went on to open my eyes a lot because for a long time, one of the phrases that's always kind of irked me, like I don't get mad, but it kind of makes me chuckle inside. You can tell somebody doesn't really pay attention to history or study history for themselves when they say it is when they talk about we need to get back to the good old days. We need to, this country was founded by our founding fathers so that we can be Christians. And as a Christ believer and follower, I constantly just want to smack them in the face and say, like, that's part of it, but there's so much other crap they all did as far as their drinking habits, people getting high, just throughout history, that religious freedom is a part of it, but there's a lot more to do with taxes. And if we really look at getting back to good old Christian days, do we want to emulate the guys that basically wiped out all the natives at the land they came over to?
Well, it gets super wormholey depending on how deep and how far you want to go.
Right. So here's talk about some of our founding fathers and some of the things they used to have going down. Start off with George Washington. Said we're taught to think of Washington as stoic, sober, wooden-toothed patriarch of our nation, but nothing could be further from the truth. He was known for tying one on with about 4 bottles of wine and dancing the night away. After his presidency, he opened one of the largest whiskey distilleries in the country at Mount Vernon that produced 11,000 gallons in 1799, the year that he died.
Wow.
So
I heard I did hear that he opened a distillery.
Right.
And someone tried to reproduce
what he used to make.
What he used to make,
Yeah.
but it didn't go so well. But
No.
I can't remember who it was or what the distillery was.
I can't either. First off, his supposedly what I'd read is his recipe. Nobody knows quite exactly what it is. It was never really, really well documented. But he did have a distillery. He was a heavy imbiber, and everybody just thinks of him as being the powdered wig wearing dude that led the nation through the revolution and stuff. But anyway, moving on. John Adams, familiar name,
Right.
says they can't prove it, but historians believe he might have been the biggest drinker of the Sons of Liberty. He began every day with a draft of hard cider before breakfast. So
My
this
kind of
dude
guy.
Woke up, stood up, stretched, went out and peed in the yard, and then grabbed hard cider. Said he drank 3 glasses of Madeira. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I found out it's a wine fortified with rum.
So that's kind of like what I drink. I have a bottle of wine downstairs fortified with vodka.
Okay, so something similar. So he
Something
did this
similar.
every night before bed.
And if you would like to find that, it's called Mangria from Carolla.
I may agree. I've heard of that.
It is 22% alcohol.
Ooh,
It is amazing.
that'll get you.
I've got his original recipe downstairs still. Like, he had to change it. Like
Yeah.
Carolla did. They switched vineyards in some other places. But I still have like 3 bottles of the original formula, not what they changed to.
Gotcha.
And I'm just kind of sitting on them.
Sitting on, literally keeping them warm,
Keeping
waiting
them
for them to hatch.
So, good.
So Adams, when they were under the British taxation, Adams wrote to his wife, "I am getting nothing that I can drink, and I believe I shall be sick from this cause alone." Well, he didn't. He ended up dying at 90 of old age,
All right, sweet.
which 90 back then is really good.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, 90 today is good too.
Well, even hitting your 50s was good back then.
So here's one, a fella that I honestly hadn't thought about as far as his drinking choices or what he, may have been as a person. We only hear one really good story of him. Paul Revere.
Okay.
We all know about Paul Revere's ride. He warned us the British are coming. We were able to defend our land, quote unquote,
Right.
from all these good Christian fellas that came over and did nothing wrong ever. In 1775, Paul Revere famously rode out of Boston at midnight to warn his fellow patriots the British were planning a march on Lexington. But how did he spread the word so fast and effectively? Well, he couldn't text them.
No.
He couldn't tweet it. He did
Oneth
it
by land, twoeth by sea, right?
Yeah, he did. He spread the word by going to the taverns where all the other founding fathers were and all the patriots, warning them, hey, he bounced from tavern to tavern and he yelled it as he rode down these streets.
The British were coming.
The British are coming, yeah. So he knew where everybody was in the town. There's only one place to be.
Yeah.
You're either in bed or you're at the tavern at night. I said, according to his own journals that he wrote, he may have had a few drinks before the ride was over. So we all picture this
okay.
like, he's riding on a horse, there's a big rush, and, we just picture him blazing down the street and yelling, and everybody's waking up and grabbing their guns.
Right.
Not quite the truth, apparently. But that was interesting. It's funny how school history tends to leave out bad parts of history.
The drinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, in general, the drinking, the genocide of Native Indians, the Native Americans, the Mexican people that were indigenous to this land. You never really hear much about that stuff. Thomas Jefferson, here's a good one. Our third president, he was a very serious connoisseur of wine. During the Revolution, on diplomatic missions to France, he toured the vineyards of Bordeaux extensively. Now, as a president, during his presidency, he imported, how many bottles of wine do you think he imported for his personal collection, just him?
Oh, I don't know. It's got to be probably in the thousands.
More than 20,000 bottles
Holy shit.
imported from all over just for him to have in his collection. Not saying he drank all those during that
Yeah,
time,
just collection.
but he imported over 20,000 bottles for his personal collection.
It's like my bourbon collection downstairs.
Right.
I have 4 unopened bottles of Blanton's.
We can change that.
No, we can't.
That's
I
a
actually
later than
gave one
we
of
can-
those away, by the way.
What do I got to do to earn a bottle of Blanton's?
You got to move away. Far, far away.
Oh, I don't live far enough. One of my other buddies asked me this week, he goes, "Have you ever tried Blanton's?" He was getting into bourbon stuff. I was like, "Yes."
Have you listened to our podcast?
Right. That's what I told him. I said, "I can tell you're not listening." But talking about the Jefferson and his 20,000 bottles of wine, the funny thing is, he insisted he was not a drunk. He said, "You are not to conclude that I am a drinker. My measure is a perfectly sober 1 of 3 or 4 glasses at dinner, and not a drop any other time. But as to those 3 or 4 glasses, I am very fond." He's not a drinker. I only drink at dinner, and I'm very, very fond of drinking.
Well, that's fine. I am not an alcoholic. I only drink twice a week.
Right.
Alcoholics have problems they admit to.
Yeah, you just don't admit it.
I just don't admit that I have.
It's never a problem.
Yeah, then it's not a problem.
And that's the other thing, the drinking...
Quitters.
The drinking with dinner and this, that, and the other, my somebody close to me quit going to church years ago because he would have a beer or 2 with dinner.
Yeah.
Somebody in his church found out years ago, and they lambasted him for it. They drug him through the coals.
And that is bullshit.
Absolutely.
Absolute
Here's
ridiculous
my stance on
bullshit.
it. And I have worked in church. I was a full-time youth pastor, and the church that I worked in did not believe anyone should consume alcohol. When I signed on to be the youth pastor there for my entirety, I abided by those rules because I knew what I was going into, and I was fully willing to adhere by that. My thing is, biblically, and I get so tired of, as Christians mainly, trying to sugarcoat things and talk about Jesus turning water into wine, then saying, well, it's because the water was unsafe. Well, they didn't drink. No, a lot of the early Christians did drink.
Yeah.
They just drink in normal doses. They didn't get drunk. The Bible literally says, do not drink to get drunk. The Bible would not have to say, do not drink to get drunk if people weren't drinking at all.
Right.
It's like, so if you have a glass of wine with your dinner, cool.
Well, even today, you shouldn't drink in excess.
Right. Absolutely
I
not. I mean, a glass of wine, a beer, a whiskey a night has been proven to have some different benefits
Yeah.
to you. A bottle a night is a little bit much.
I mean,
And I've been there. I have drank in excess, I'm not
I have
saying
too. I've had alcohol poisoning 3 times.
That's not good.
No. I never went to the hospital for it, but I've had alcohol poisoning 3 times.
Oh, so you're not a quitter.
No, hell no. Ain't gonna stop me. The only thing that stopped me is coconut rum.
Ugh.
I just won't drink coconut rum anymore.
Nasty. All right, moving on.
That was that was the first time I had alcohol poisoning.
Oh man, yeah, I understand. My biggest thing with just real quick with Christianity and drinking and whatnot, I understand that it can affect your witness if you're trying to teach others what you believe. Now, I also don't believe you need to go out and throw Bibles at people and tell them they're going to hell.
But throwing books at people are fun.
Yeah,
I mean, literally throwing books at people.
Yeah, that's
fun.
what I'm saying. But throw heavier books.
Right, like the phone book. The Columbus area phone book that's got 3,000 pages in it. Throw that.
I get so tired of people condemning other people for doing nothing wrong just because they feel the way they do about it. I don't know. But moving on, we're going on to Benjamin Franklin. Oh, I got to burp again. All right, my bad. I'm getting better. Oh, man, that taste keeps coming back.
You know what? I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. I'm going to...
There you go.
If I don't finish off this beer, well, I'm going to have to finish it off today. Both of them.
So to my buddy Tony that didn't want to be mentioned, Martelle likes the HPA.
I thought his name was Troy.
Troy. Dang it. Whichever one. I thought you said Tony earlier, so I was rolling with it. So Troy, who did not want to be mentioned, Martelle likes it. He approves. I'm not sold on it. So Franklin says, though he may have been amongst the most temperate of his fellow... Sorry, I keep having breaks in my reading. These ads keep popping up, and I'm reading off a cell phone. So Ben Franklin said, beer is living proof that God loves us and wants to see us happy.
Yes.
How ironic that I just read that after...
I love... That's one of my favorite quotes. I mean, granted, I am not one of the, as you would say, the religious types, more of the spiritual types. But that is one of my favorite quotes when someone's like, "Oh, you shouldn't drink. It's against da da da." I'm like, "Nope, Ben Franklin." And that's all I say. I'm like, just Ben Franklin. That's all. And I don't give him a quote. I don't give him anything. I'm just like, Ben Franklin.
Right, and that's one of my other favorite things. Since we have the hemp beer, we can talk about it. Is hemp, weed, marijuana, pot.
He was a huge pusher of that. Well, he was an inventor, so
I wasn't even talking about that. I'm saying today, a lot of Christians vote against medicinal marijuana, but
it just makes.
I know. I went off on somebody privately. I didn't go off. I explained my side. I have somebody very close to me that suffers from a disease that this has been proven to help cure.
It's been proven to help a lot of people.
And they are in a lot of pain most of their lives. So much pain where they can't hardly walk. Right. Well, they started making jokes about it when it first failed in Ohio. And one of the jokes that was said, somebody posted on Facebook, was I was going to go get up and vote, but then I got high, playing off that old song.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's really funny that you voted down without doing any research, without thinking of who it could help. And the best part is, I know that he and his family members, who are very good Christian people, who I actually respect, have taken prescription drugs like Percocet, like Vicodin, things that are man-made. I'm sitting here looking, God gave us a plant.
And highly addictive.
You know, if you do believe in God or Mother Nature or Buddha or whoever, there's a plant that grows that isn't addictive, that has no negative qualities, that's been found ever, except you eat a lot, I guess.
Well,
you get munchies.
Yeah,
but
you get the munchies like a mother effer.
But I'm sitting here going, you guys are all trying to make fun of this. I'm like, think about what you're doing. You're literally saying that stuff that's made by man that other man tells me to eat or to take for pain is better than what God invented.
Right. so back to the whole the first time it came around with the medicinal property, you know, the
medicinal marijuana.
There were things I am so for getting marijuana legalized, not just on a medicinal use.
Right. Me too.
Just on a recreational use and treating it like alcohol. You get pulled over high, you get cited.
Right.
You get party plates. I mean, I'm all for it being
You get party
legalized.
plates and party pants. You
Hell
have to wear party pants the whole time.
I'm all for it being available to anybody who wants to walk down to a liquor store, or God forbid it being vape stores. But
It will be.
I know. Well, no, it needs to be regulated like alcohol is.
They have their own distilleries, they call them, don't they? Is that what they call them out in Utah or something?
I don't know. I'm going to call them a grow shop. But I unfortunately did not vote. I voted it down the first time around, not because I'm against it, because
but the way it was written.
The way it was written.
Right.
It only supported 10
hitch.
people
Right.
to be allowed to manage and handle
It was a monopoly.
the way it was being grown.
Right.
They need to open that up, because I know people that, I mean, honest to God, I know guys that grow the shit in their basement now that could benefit from being able to take the strain. Well, open a store, not just open a store, but they have their own strain.
Oh, okay, and they could sell that off.
That they could sell their own strain of the plant that they use as a recreational or even potentially a medical use.
Yeah.
Because who knows what that medical use is. Now, they're not adding angel dust and PCP and all this other shit to it.
No. Yeah,
it's just a hybrid of two different strains that I've gotten together.
They're crossbreeding.
Right.
They're inbreeding.
So who knows, what could come out of that.
Right.
For what they've thrown together. And I'm sure somebody else has thrown together in a lab, but it doesn't matter. They could benefit from being able to grow what they have on a larger scale, and it would benefit, it would benefit the state. It would benefit the federal government.
Right.
Because there's the taxes piece
yep.
there. It could benefit Joe Schmo, who has epilepsy.
Every one of my burps tastes like hemp now.
Yeah, it does. Oh. It could benefit, anybody that has epilepsy or any other seizure-based thing that CBD has been known to help, or smoking weed has been or ingesting, I should say. I shouldn't just say smoking. Edibles, be careful with edibles. I've heard bad things about them.
I've heard several bad things about edibles.
But just fucking, I'm getting on a high horse about it. It irritates
high horse, get it? That's what we do here.
It just irritates me that we are in 2018. We do all this other shit. We're going on, oh my God, transgenders. We can't let these people be people. And, we got past the gay thing. And, finally, we're past that, and we're past the we're getting past the transgender thing.
We got through Pokemon Go.
Right, which are things that shouldn't have even been issues in the first place.
Right.
This should have never been an issue in the 70s with the whole weed madness or whatever it was.
Well, no, the whole war on drugs
is not a war on drugs.
It's not a war on drugs at all. Especially if you do some I've done a lot of research on conspiracy theories and bullcrap to see what I think is right, and a lot of the conspiracy theories are just that. They're theories.
Right,
They
they're
don't
just
make
theories.
sense. But in doing some digging, I've read and listened to some other podcasts that really go into what has been proven that the government has done, and a lot of the ways the government has brought drugs into this country to make money, to support wars, and what they want to do is mind-boggling.
I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Hemp.
You just pour the rest of the hemp beer. Did you finish the Atomic Pumpkin?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Awesome. Good for you.
I am getting buzzed.
I'm glad that Troy Tony brought those. Well, you can get buzzed. It's your house, and
Oh, I know.
you got
Well,
nothing going on.
I think it's more from just drinking a 6.5 and a 7.5 APV beer than anything else.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of, I did do a quick search before we continue on with your stuff. So, New Belgium's HEMPEROR is only illegal in one state.
California.
No, surprisingly, because weed is legal in California.
Oh, yeah.
It is Kansas. That's because the so-called HPA is brewed with hemp, an ingredient that, despite state, still classifies as a Schedule 1 narcotic.
Hemp is a narcotic?
A Schedule 1 narcotic.
Oh, my goodness.
So let's look up what a Schedule 1 narcotic means. Because I don't know what it is off the top of my head, and I should have looked it up prior to this.
Yeah, you should have for interrupting me.
Shut up. So I know that a Schedule 1 narcotic is
Definitely comes before a Schedule 2.
a substance that is scheduled to have a high potency for abuse that may lead to severe psychological or physical dependencies. Example, a Schedule 2 narcotic includes hydromorphone, methadone. It's higher than meth. Higher than meth. Weed is higher than meth.
In Kansas.
Anywhere. So just a Schedule 1 is a Schedule 1, Schedule 2. That's
That just
federal.
Proves to me that the government is
Oxycodone.
using this to make money.
Fucking Oxy. It is higher than Oxy.
Is this reversed where Schedule 1's lower than Schedule 2?
No.
Like a baseball game, the higher you go, the better it is?
No. No.
All right.
Are you shitting me? Anyway.
No, I'm not. I really didn't know.
I know. No, I know you don't know. I'm just like, weed is higher on the level. It is the worst. The worst of the worst is what they're calling it.
Well, it might make you some of these things.
I feel like Joe Rogan right now.
Yeah,
what the fuck are you guys doing?
You're really going off.
Jesus Christ, you bunch of
If
fucking
you haven't seen Joe Rogan's
namby-pamby
podcast,
assholes.
you can find anyone and he can go off on
Christ.
some very big issues. I love his podcast. So back to Ben Franklin.
Have another drink, dickheads.
The Drinker's Dictionary he's famous for coming up with the Drinker's Dictionary. It's over 200 euphemisms for getting tore up, which would be one of those. Among the
Tore up
favorites
from the floor up.
Tore up from the floor up. Among the favorites that were listed here, the writer put being drunk. Franklin would often call things like pissed in the brook,
Ooh, I like that.
wamblecropped, or womblecropped,
I'm going to have to look that one up.
and been too free with Sir John Strawberry.
Who the hell is Sir John Strawberry?
I'm assuming he means wine. Strawberry wine.
Oh, strawberry wine.
17.
Yeah. Because they probably didn't use grapes.
Hot July Moon. Saw everything.
Who?
First taste to last.
Did you say Haji?
Ooh, bittersweet.
Haji?
Like green on the vine. That's
Okay.
strawberry wine.
All right, yeah.
Long live Deanna Carter. So hot. 14-year-old me loved some country girls back then in the 90s. Leanne Rimes, Deanna Carter, Shania Twain.
Yeah,
Are you
look at
kidding
other
me?
than Shania Twain, look at him now.
No, because I don't want to ruin that memory.
I think you should.
No.
You want me to bring him up on the screen?
No, I'm not going to look. I'll close my eyes. Let me.
You won't have a choice.
Here's one I know that you know knows beer. Samuel Adams.
Sell out.
Yeah, whatever. It says among the many lines on his resume, one of them was a brewer. He started as a maltster in his father's brewery. That's the guy that made the malts that would become beer.
Yeah.
He was also a master politician and is credited with organizing the revolution from inside New England taverns by getting would-be Minutemen mad as hell over the high price of rum. Sounds like something you'd do.
No, I like rum. Well,
That's why they were all mad.
Yeah.
Next one.
I would do it with bourbon, though.
I'm trying to
And
run
rum.
through this quick because we're going to run out of time.
No, we got plenty of time.
Oh, we'll just keep going.
Just
We had a short episode last time, so we'll go with the long one this time.
We can go over.
So
We give the people what they want, Randy.
John Hancock, who was he?
Well, he's the guy that was in that movie Hancock with Will Smith.
Exactly. That's Herbie Hancock.
No. His name was Hancock. He was the superhero.
Yes, I know. You just missed my reference to another movie that Chris Farley was in.
I know.
Tommy Boy?
Yeah. I don't catch movie references very well.
You don't, because I say a lot, and you just keep talking. I'm like, he didn't even get that.
Nope. I'm really bad at retaining movie references.
So, obviously, Hancock is known as the first to sign the Declaration of Independence. He smuggled more booze into the colonies than almost anyone else.
That fucking bootlegger.
He ended up being sued by the British government for unpaid taxes to the tune of about $7 million in today's money. And the writer put, "This is how revolutions start, people."
That's right.
He's got
So he's
mad.
the original bootlegger then.
Him and Sam Adams, yeah. Well, one of them. All these guys were.
Well, no, I mean, if he smuggled $7 million
yeah.
worth of... I mean, the
These
guys
guys
that
were
were
all over
running
the place.
moonshine in Kentucky that started NASCAR
This
weren't
is
smuggling...
pre-moonshine.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though. The guys that were smuggling moonshine that created NASCAR down in Kentucky,
Right.
they didn't smuggle that much moonshine.
Oh, no.
And he smuggled what would be equivalent to
$7
$7 million
Yeah,
today.
in today's money.
That's a lot of
Yeah. So
beer.
the British tried to tax him, and he got pissed. So Sam Adams is getting mad. Herbie Hancock's getting mad. And everybody says that our country was founded on good Christian morals. No, they were mad over the price of their rum.
They're mad
and
over their
taxes.
alcohol.
That's right. Now, yes, I know somebody's going to message me and be like, "That's not true." There's a lot of things that went into the American Revolution, but I'm just saying.
This is a factor.
These guys were just dudes. They weren't all saints.
Yeah, this is a factor
Period.
here.
So, listen
God,
to some
this
of
is so good. I like this hempenator. This is
You
so,
are
I'm going to have
really
to find
enjoying
some.
it.
I am enjoying it.
You probably just get at Kroger or something.
I've been texting my buddy. And,
Have you?
Yeah, and he's like, "Nope, never tried it. How's it smell?" I'm like, "It smells like a
I
plant."
was like, yeah.
He's like, "Is it skunky?" I'm like, "It smells like your basement."
Enough said. So, some of the things they drank: rum. No other commodity held as much of a place in the colonial economy than rum. Domestic rum was the backbone of American economy before the Revolution, but when King George started screwing around with the importation of sugarcane molasses from the Caribbean, the price of rum went way up, and the OG patriots got ticked.
You know what? We had the Boston Tea Party. It could have been the
I'm gonna get
Boston
into
Rum
this.
Party.
There's actually a tie I'm going to get into here in
All
a
right.
second that I didn't know until I read
Well, see,
this.
and I haven't. So I have no idea what you're reading from. I'm
Right.
just making shit up from memory. As
Right. From what you've been taught or found
Right.
out on your own. So, cider, we talked about that earlier, hard ciders.
Yep.
British love their beer, but things like barley and hops didn't grow very well in New England, so they planted vast apple orchards. Who is famous for messing with an apple tree?
Well, Johnny Appleseed.
I'm not playing messing with.
Oh.
You're getting high from drinking all the marijuanas. No, Washington. Remember
Washington.
the chopping down the tree?
I cannot tell
Or
a
is
lie.
that cherry tree?
Well, it was a cherry tree.
Either way, it was fruit.
I think it was Abe Lincoln who
Or
cannot
a
tell a
top
lie
hat. Yeah.
that
We're
he
mixing
didn't
up
chop down
presidents.
the apple tree.
But they
It could have been
planted
cherry
all these,
tree. It
these
doesn't
apple
matter.
orchards, and
We spread false news on this podcast.
absolutely,
So
that's what we do. But they planted all these apple orchards, and they make hard cider from it. So they would have something to drink that they could grow easily.
yeah,
It said cider was so much a part of daily colonial life that an average man would have consumed a quart of it by breakfast.
so just why?
Because it was
Because the
delicious.
water was indrinkable.
Right.
It wasn't.
Well, yeah, but they could have just made apple juice. They didn't have to let it ferment and everything.
No,
there are
they
other
had-
things they could have drank.
No, because you have to distill the water. You can't. It's easier
know
to
how.
distill the water and make whiskey and alcohol out of it and drink that than it is to just
Take a hammer and smash an apple and lick the juices off the table.
yeah.
You get splinters in your
The
tongue.
the
that
water
way.
wasn't potable.
So here we're talking about beer now. We're on to
Okay,
beer.
We're on to beer.
Though more difficult to make in the colonies than it was in England, beer remained a daily staple of most colonial Americans' lives for more than 200 years. Safer than water
See,
because it was boiled, not because of the alcohol. Talking about
That's what I just
purifying the
said.
water. There were even lower alcohol versions called small beer that was brewed for children. I never knew that. So our founding fathers were brewing beer for their kids.
O'Doul's rule.
O'Doul's. Get some of that Bush NA. Even the Puritans and Quakers who rallied against alcohol consumption were actually only talking about distilled spirits.
And those
Beer
shitheads were
cider-
drinking Bud Ice.
beer. Beer and cider were just fine by them. So a lot of the old Puritans, like super stick up their butt, Everybody's wrong, even though we all know they were shady. They just didn't let people know. They hid it well. They drank beer and cider all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't like the whiskey and the rum.
Well, and that's fine. I mean, they were still drinking. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Whether it was distilled or brewed.
So, on colonial whiskey, now we're getting into your wheelhouse. The rise of whiskey in America came on the tail of the first push westward in 1791, with beer and cider a scarce commodity outside the colonies, and rum having fallen out of favor before the Revolution due to its high cost. Those settlers west of the Allegheny Mountains made do with home stills to produce clear corn liquor, unaged, and resembling what we might call moonshine today. Without a codified system of currency, most goods and services in rural areas were purchased with whiskey, not cash.
Yep.
So
that I kind of knew in the back of my head.
yeah, I mean, we all kind of know the moonshine story. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but anybody who's done any kind of research at all.
Well, anybody from the Appalachia area.
Right. And then, it led to the Rum Runners, which led to NASCAR. NASCAR is now proud of that heritage. It used to be, like, taboo to talk about.
Well, that's how they all started. They better be proud of it, or else they wouldn't have a business.
The upper powers that be, the money, the marketers.
Well, even them, they wouldn't have a business if they...
Right. But it was more taboo to talk about illegal goings-on in your business 20 years ago. Well, you can thumb it out all you want. That's just fact.
I know.
That's just my opinion. That's probably a fact. So now we're talking about the taverns. What do you know about old taverns?
They were made of wood.
All right. The end. Thanks for listening, everybody. What did we just end it there? So they're not just a place where they go get some drinks. Some of them also served as a post office, a courthouse, a wedding hall. Holy crap, people got married in a tavern instead of a church. Or any kind of civic functions. Because if you think about it, the tavern was really one big giant room where a bunch of people could gather. There wasn't a lot of that around. You couldn't go rent rental halls in places like you can today.
A tavern, if you think about it, a tavern it had a bar.
Right.
Usually. It was a gigantic room.
Right.
Usually they had hotel. It was think of it as like a multi-purpose building. It was a bar.
That's exactly what it was.
It was a gigantic room. It had an upstairs with other rooms upstairs.
It was an AMVETS.
Yeah, basically.
With rooms.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and you used it for whatever you needed to use it for.
So that, in a tavern, it says that's where the Founding Fathers planned and staged the American Revolution. So that gave them a place to gather to kind of cook up what they're going to do. And do you know the most famous tavern out there in Boston that is still serving today from that time?
It's the Sam Adams Brew House.
The Green Dragon.
That was close.
The Green Dragon is still serving rum punch in Boston's North End to this day. It's the same stuff these dudes went and drank while making laws and all this other crap.
Is it made of wood?
Let me check. It is. It is made of wood. So I got just a couple more points here.
You're a liar.
I'm pretty sure it's made of.
It's probably been renovated several times.
It's got a
brick,
a deck that is. It took them a while to build it, though.
College students are out there doing belly shots.
Doing belly shots. Ugh, can you imagine licking the belly of somebody back then? Oh. I don't want to lick the belly of anybody now, come to think of it.
You get salty syphilis.
Oh. We need to come up with a drink and call it the salty syphilis.
Oh, I can do that.
Something with a salt rim.
I'll work on it tonight.
Oh, man. So, the Liberty Riot, do you know much about that? Because I didn't learn a ton about that in school.
The what?
The Liberty Riot.
No.
Okay, so here we go. In 1768, British customs officials seized John Hancock's ship, the Liberty, in the Boston Harbor, and accused him of smuggling about 100,000 gallons of wine and that Madeira wine rum stuff.
That's a lot of wine.
Yeah.
100,000 gallons
on a ship back then.
Most breweries don't do that.
I mean, they don't have conveyor belts and forklifts to load this stuff. These guys were loading this crap into the hull.
Well, it's all in barrels.
Right. But they're rolling all this crap, pushing, lifting, whatever.
Right. Holy shit.
It says, after all that, it says they accused him of, and then at the end it says, which was absolutely true. This has been verified. In response, thirsty American colonists dragged a customs ship out of the harbor, paraded it through the streets. They drug a ship out of the harbor. It doesn't say what size, but it's a ship that the customs use.
Well, if it's a ship, then, I mean, it's got to be probably, think the size of a semi-truck, 52-foot long trailer.
Roughly. They drug it up out of the harbor. Paraded it through the streets and turned it into a giant bonfire in the middle of Boston Common.
Good Lord.
Torched it. caused a huge riot. Now we move on to the Boston Tea Party.
Well, and if it was full of all that, of all the alcohol and everything else, can you imagine how heavy that would be?
Jeez.
Think about
the
it.
custom ship didn't have the alcohol. They were trying to
custom
seize
ship, the
Hancock
custom,
ship.
Never mind. Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
that now we move on. That's
Think
5
of all the
years
barnacles
before,
on that.
like at least 7.
There's got to be, maybe
So
8.
That brings us to the Boston Tea Party.
Okay.
Now we know that the Brits were coming over, bringing tea. They wanted to tax the crap out of it. America said, "Screw you," and threw the tea in the harbor. We don't want your tea.
Right.
Which is probably pretty dumb because it's probably pretty expensive back then.
Well, that's a
Should have
big,
at least stole it and taken it home.
I mean, the way that I look at it is, you go into the Boston Harbor, you start drinking that. That's a big cup of tea.
Giant cup of tea.
Yeah, at noon.
It's got to be good for your skin too.
Well, you got to get some biscuits to go with that too.
Crumpets.
Cookies,
Crumpets.
crackers.
And then you can go play that weird version of baseball. I think they call it lacrosse. So the Boston Tea Party, in response to the Tea Act of 1773, the Boston Tea Party was really a response to all the unfair taxes imposed by King George, most of which had to do with alcohol. They never taught me that in high school.
So I want to say that again. Say that again. Say it
The
slower.
Boston Tea Party was really a response to all the unfair taxes imposed by King George. We were taught that.
Right. We were taught that part.
Most of it had to do with alcohol, not the tea.
Yeah, we weren't taught that part.
The Molasses Act, the Sugar Act, and the Stamp Act, which I vaguely remember being mentioned in school,
Yeah.
all targeted the production, sale, import, and export of booze in the colonies, and the Americans weren't having it. So while everybody says, "Oh, it's the tea and it's the sugar for the tea," it had nothing to do with the tea. They were mad because they're taxing the import of the ingredients needed to make different
alcohol. Yeah.
Said rather than destroy valuable rum in protest, here's why the tea went in the harbor. Colonial Bostonians, with Sam Adams as the ringleader, chose instead to drink the rum before launching the King's tea into Boston Harbor.
Oh.
So the king sends all his stuff so the Americans buy it and pay an outrageous tax for it. Well, they said, "Screw you. We're just not going to pay you, and we're going to throw your crap overboard so you don't even get it back." But they didn't throw the alcohol overboard.
Well,
they drank it.
I wouldn't throw the alcohol overboard either.
So they drank, and I'm assuming they probably stashed some of the rum, grabbed it and ran and all this. But we were never told that in high school.
No, why would they tell us that in high school?
Because I'm sitting here going, okay, I like sweet tea a lot, the Southern style where you got to chew it. But I don't think I'd get so mad that I'd start a revolution.
So in most cases, when we went through anything with American history, that was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, at least in my school.
Okay, yeah.
They're not going to talk about alcohol to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Okay, but what about into high school? We covered some American history in high school, too.
I didn't take social studies in high school.
Oh, I just realized what happened. You went to a one-room schoolhouse and it stopped at 8th grade.
Yeah.
That explains so much.
That's why I'm so fucking amazing.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking.
That's why I know so much.
I should have read the other article instead of talking about the alcohol in America. Because one of them was, there's an article I may be reading on here sometime that talks about basically you're not as cool as you think you are, why you're not getting anything done. And one of the points is it's really because you're not as smart as you think you are.
Oh, I know I'm dumb. I'm dumb as shit. I know I'm not smart.
But in knowing that you're dumb, you're kind
of
smart.
I don't have the intelligences.
I think you can buy it. Sorry, I wanted to respond quicker there, but I started burping.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard not to burp with my...
The problem is I'm so damn smart that I'm stupid.
That makes sense. That's like saying I'm so rich, I'm broke. Like, I have so much money, I can't even pay my bills.
Hey, at least I can do an oil change every 5,000 miles. I don't need to be lotto smart.
Sometimes you can.
Oh no, I can't.
On a Nissan.
Well, no, that I can do it. It's more of a fact of laziness.
Everything's laziness with you.
I can afford to do it. I don't need to be lotto money smart to do it.
Pay somebody else to do it.
Well, I used to. I might go back to doing it again because that thing's a pain in the ass.
Just for that one, at least.
Just for that one. The other two cars are easy because the oil filter's right on the top.
Right, like they should be.
Like
exactly. The way the founding fathers made them.
Yeah.
What they originally wanted us to have was oil filters on the top.
When they said, we're going to develop vehicles, the oil filter needs to be on top of the motor.
Yep. And they throw all the foreign vehicles into the harbor.
Where they belong. Except this is a Japanese vehicle, and one Japanese vehicle
it's still foreign.
I don't give a shit. All my cars are foreign. The way they should be.
They should be in the harbor.
No. Because American cars suck. Sorry.
You take that back right now.
No, you just showed up in a Toyota.
Yeah, you're right. I did. Drove a Camry here today.
Drove a Camry.
Good car. Very reliable.
I know. That's
Good
why I love
family
my
vehicle.
Toyota. That's why I love my FJ.
I love what they do for me.
Toyota.
We're so white.
Oh, we are so way off track here. Anyway, that was so educational. I liked everything about that.
Yeah, it was a bit different.
It is.
That's why. That's kind of why I didn't want to tell you exactly what we were doing, because you're like, okay, what do we need to do? What are you talking about? I was just like, trust me. Like, it's pretty cool.
It is. That was actually
Good info.
It was good, and it tied in nicely with everything that I was drinking today.
Yeah, it
All-
was a
all
perfect
2 beers.
Day. It was a perfect day to bring those all 2 beers that you just got high on. You know what's funny is I often make the joke when somebody says something dumb or trips on their words, I will make some drug related reference. And I often say, have you been drinking all the marijuanas again? And it's
You
been a
can
joke
literally drink the
for years.
marijuanas
And now you can drink the hemp's PA.
which I'm still looking into. I'm still trying to figure out if this is the. I need to go back. If this, because they don't really say in this article. It says it's brewed with hemp hearts, not the flower, which means I don't know what, but
That means what that means is
I think
not
that's
the flower.
the bud.
It means
It's
they're
not the bud.
using the flower.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. But I don't think there's the bud and there's the flower. Like the part that you smoke is the part that you pop off, grind up, throw
That's
it.
the bud, right?
That's the bud.
That's the little nugget.
Yeah, that's
I know.
That's the
essentially
nugget.
Nothing about weed
So, but I don't know what
as far as smoking it.
I don't know
goes.
what the flower is because they do flower.
They deflower.
They flower. No, you don't turn them into virgin, or you don't de-virginize them.
Turn them into virgins.
You don't de-virginize them. But it doesn't say in this article is from Gear Patrol from March of this year, when New Belgium released this.
Oh, okay. So this has been out a while. So there's some reviews out there we need to look into. And
Yeah. So, but it just says that it's dry hopped and it's an experimental HBC 22 hops, and while it may be free of it says it's free of THC and CBD.
right. Okay.
2 or more of the 100 cannabinoids in marijuana, you can still expect a little buzz. It clocks in at 7%. It's set for national release. So this is before it was actually released.
Oh, okay. This is before then.
So if you were to take basically,
but here's the thing: if you're drinking this, it's a 7% ABV. You're not. How are you going to know if you're getting high or drunk?
well, no, what this article is saying is if you were to smoke enough hemp,
oh, okay.
you would feel the effects.
a little bit of the effects. So
You
it's
would
basically
have to
like
have a
trace.
hog's leg of a joint to get high off of this shit.
Now I just want a hog's leg to gnaw on.
A hog's leg. I mean, so going back
Big
to
old ham hock.
hearkening back to my mom and telling me about her old days at Kent State and when they used to smoke joints. She had smoked something that was 3
was she
inches.
at Kent State when those 4 kids got killed?
No, she. Quick story: she was on her way to protest when that happened,
Wow.
and their car broke down on their way there.
So she would have been there.
She would have
had
been
the car
there
not broke down.
had the car not broke down. She went to Kent State.
Was
East
she driving
Liverpool
a Toyota?
campus. No, she was probably driving a Buick.
Yep, would have made it if she had a Toyota.
Right.
Okay, so go on.
So, but she went to Kent State, East Liverpool campus, and they were on their way to the main campus in Kent
To protest.
to protest, and their car broke down just outside of Youngstown.
Wow, you may not be here today if she was driving a
Potentially.
Toyota.
Potentially, yeah.
Crazy.
So,
We might have
but
to get more into that later, but
I don't know much about it.
well,
to
I
be
mean,
honest.
the story in general. There's a lot of facts.
There's a lot of
There's a
but
go on with
shit
your.
behind it. But she would tell me
hog's
stories.
leg.
My mom was a pothead when through college and everything else. I even had a box. I may have it in storage that has
pot in it.
her seeds in it.
Really?
The marijuana seeds that she used to plant because she used to grow her own shit.
That's amazing.
So, and she used to grow her own shit, smoke her own shit. So I still have the seeds and some of the roaches somewhere, potentially somewhere.
I bet there's some folks that would love to have some seeds from that era.
At this point, I'm sure they're dead. Like they wouldn't grow.
But
They're
could
done.
I don't know anything about mixing seeds. I'd have to look more into it. But I know that we have a vault, a national vault with seeds in it, right?
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
case
yeah.
like nuclear fallout.
But they keep those seeds
they
alive.
keep-
These are just
But here's my question: I know they keep them alive and they keep they recirculate obviously.
Yeah.
But if there's an old seed, can they get the
DNA.
right kind of like Jurassic Park? a
Maybe.
plant?
I don't know.
Oh man, that'd
Potentially.
be interesting to know.
But real quick, like, so she would tell me about, like, as I got older, she'd be like, yeah, we used to smoke so much weed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you fucking hippie. And she's like, no, no, no. Like, we would just, hanging out. She's like, I smoked a joint. She goes, because it was so readily available that was 3 inches in diameter.
Holy
Think
crap.
about how fucking big that is
I mean, you're talking,
in diameter.
that looks like part of a baseball bat.
That was called a hog's leg.
Good
They
night.
called those hog's legs. If you go back and you can find it now, I don't have it anymore. I lost it in the move after both my parents passed away, and I was cleaning out my dad's house and everything. Cheech and Chong released an album. I think it was the Up and Smoke album, because we're just talking about beer and weed and everything else. The Up and Smoke album came with rolling paper.
Nice.
Came with a huge sheet. So think about how big an LP is, a record. That sheet of rolling paper was folded 4 times over. So it was folded in half. So if you
So it was a
unfolded
quarter
it,
si- yeah.
it was
Oh,
it
okay.
was
So it's four
times
times
the
the
size
size of an old vinyl
of
record.
a vinyl record cover.
Wow.
Someone took that paper
And just made
and
one
rolled
joint.
one gigantic joint out of that. That's what she had told me. They used that paper, the Cheech and Chong paper, and rolled a joint out of that, and it
dumb,
ended
man.
up being like 3 inches in diameter. Once it was all said and done with that, they rolled the biggest joint they could
I mean, you're
roll out
talking.
of that.
You're literally trying to smoke a baseball bat. Like, it's so
Yeah.
inconvenient. It's just novelty.
It's
Kind of like we're talking about the beer.
right. They did it. They just passed it around. She said they smoked that thing for hours.
I'm sure.
Just hours, and she was high as shit. Just so
Yeah.
damn high. I used to have that album with a small cutout in the rolling paper my mom cut out and rolled a joint out of that paper.
Wow.
I am so disappointed that I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. I lost all of the records. I had all these 45s in the move. And I lost them all. I don't know where they went. I had Boston and Cheech and Chong and Europe and Elvis,
Crazy.
like an unopened Elvis album, like all of this shit. But yeah, so they would just, I mean, she smoked regularly. She's like, oh, I've got seeds
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, any type of person that has fun smoking a hog's leg definitely smokes regularly. Nobody starts off on that.
Oh, no, no,
Nobody
no.
like
She-
walks up like,
yeah.
I never do this and never will again. Let me start smoking this
Let me-
baseball bat sized joint.
Yeah, she was a pothead
Goodness.
in all throughout college before she met my dad. Maybe even after she met my dad. I think he was into it as well. But yeah, it was the stories they would tell me were just
I'm sure.
out of this world, and it's unfortunate that I'll never
It's a different time, man. Just
I'll never
a lot
be able
went
to get
on in
those
that
stories.
generation.
So, anything else?
I think we're good. I got through all my stuff.
I don't have anything. So,
Good.
Hey.
Good thing I came with something then.
I know if you're into it, check out New Belgium, the HEMPEROR or VOODOO Ranger. I recommend them. I just finished off both bottles. I would not recommend them together. It's kind of weird.
The HEMPEROR took over for me.
Well,
I just drank a little bit. I had about a double shot of the pumpkin maybe,
probably.
and like a shot of the shots worth of the HEMPEROR. And every time I burp, which I'm doing very good at keeping off my.
Oh, it overpowers
it is.
everything.
Yeah, it's pretty foul.
It overpowers everything. But the two of them combined together is not.
Not way up.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend folks try them, especially if you can go to one of those places where you can like make your own 6-pack. Maybe get 4 beers you like, and then try one of these.
Yeah,
and
grab
just
one
see
of the
if you like it.
Hempinators. Definitely.
And me, I probably won't be buying either of them. I don't buy beer and drink beer, but
No, it's fine.
every once in a while I'll have one. But yeah, not my thing. But it was cool to taste. I've never had anything from New Belgium, so
Yeah, New Belgium's good. They do a pretty good job. I was happy when they came into Ohio, when they came with Fat Tire.
you know what's really really good beer? Coors Light.
Evil Twin Brewing. Fuck your Coors Light.
I'm surprised you didn't get a reaction quicker. No, I'm not a beer guy. It's not my thing. But yeah, I recommend those. Check them out.
So
Trying to think if we mentioned anybody else. Shout out to Endeavor, that Martell skit that. Shout
Yeah.
out to Habaneros, where you haven't eaten at.
it's fine. They're never. No one listens. They don't care.
You always say that. You're so freaking emo. You might as well dye your hair black and grow it out to cover one of your eyeballs. You are the freaking... I'm Big Fat Winnie the Pooh and you're Eeyore over there in the corner. Just nobody listens. Thanks for noticing me.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I haven't been the.
If nobody listened, I would not have gotten 2 messages this week. One saying, "Dude, I freaking love your guys' podcast," and the other saying, "You two could mess up a wet dream."
The wet dream one was hilarious.
It was hilarious, which makes me wonder. Maybe it's because he's having wet dreams about us, and he gets mad when it gets cut short.
That's gross. But I won't be logging into Columbus Racing for another 22 years.
So you ain't got to worry about it.
So Howard doesn't have to worry about me taking over his fawn again.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep, that's all I got, man.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to end this show. For Randy, I am Martelle. You guys have a great week, and we will talk at you, because we don't talk to you. Because we don't care.
Down at you.
We don't care enough to talk to you. We're just going to talk at you. You can check us,
share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for listening. Check us out on all the social medias at Buckhorn Podcast, not the Buckhorn Podcast. I've gotten a couple messages about that.
You just said Buckhorn Podcast.
Did I really?
Yes.
All right. Check us out at
Podcast.
Buckhorn Podcast, not Buck Fog Podcast. Buck whatever.
Stop.
Anyway, check us
You
out at
drink too
Buckhorn
many marijuanas.
Buckhorn Podcast. Don't add the word "the." It's not in there.
Or podcast.
Podcast. Yeah, check out this.
Check out my Buckhorn Podcast.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Anyway, on the Instagrams, on the Facebooks, on the Twitters. Probably need to be a little more active on the Twitters. No, don't care. Anyway, for Randy, I am Martelle, and we are out.
Peace.
See ya.